My name is Trudy Pogue. I'm an IT analyst at Innovative Automation in Barrie, and I worked as the project manager for our ERP implementation. We had several homegrown applications. They were very customized for us and they worked well, but they were all disconnected basically. So if somebody needed a report, for example, it would have to go through IT. We get them some data from here, and they would bring it into a spreadsheet and have to spend hours massaging the data in there. And our company is always thinking about growth, and we knew that as we grow, it would be better to have an ERP system than to have to maintain all of that in-house. When we decided to embark on an ERP implementation project, we hired a consultant. We had some grant money for that, and they helped us document our requirements and put together an RFQ. And they also helped us work on a list of potential ERP systems and implementers. And so we sent out the RFQ to about, I think, 8 or 10 different companies. We narrowed it down to 3, Epicor being one of them, and those 3 were invited to come on site and give us a demo. In the end, we chose Epicor and Success Partners. So the consultant that we worked with to select the ERP system and the implementer, the list kind of came from that consultant. And so Success and Epicor was presented to us as a package deal along with some other ones. So we really didn't look at any other implementer. I think the thing that surprised me the most about ERP was just the sheer magnitude of the project. It's huge. It's all-encompassing. It touches every part of your business and every person is involved, and it's a really big project and you need everybody on board for that. With change management, there are always some people who resist change, and so Success helped us with that. They had a consultant come in right at the beginning of the project, a change management consultant, and did a little interview and gave some recommendations. They provided posters for us to post around to just help people to know that it was coming, and they would recommend things like town hall meetings, so we did those regularly, so that way we were keeping everybody informed about the changes and doing training as well as we got closer to go live. The change management, I think it went well. People were ready, especially at the end. We had our owners come into those town halls and speak, and that was very motivational for everybody. So yeah, I think we did pretty good in the area of change management. If there's anyone out there who's thinking about implementing an ERP system, one thing I would recommend is doing a module review. Take a good look at what you're purchasing. There were things that we bought, we found out later we didn't really need, and there was third-party software that was included that we didn't even look at for a year after we started the process. So you don't need to get everything right at the beginning, and it's a lot easier to add things on than to take things off. There's a lot of benefits to having an ERP system. I would say one of the big ones for us is having all our data in one place. As I mentioned before, we had a lot of separate applications, and now we have more data and we have it all together. So for example, we build custom automation systems for our clients. Each one is unique. And now we know what one little part of one project costs in terms of material and labor. So our sales team, when they're quoting a similar project or just a project that has a similar piece, they know what it cost us before, so that really helps them when they're quoting. The one thing with Epicor is that finance and operations are so closely tied together now. Before Epicor, the operations would send a spreadsheet with a list of their transactions to finance, and they would put it in. But now operations knows that everything they do, finance sees it right away. It's happening all automatically, so that's just another advantage. The next big things with ERP, we really didn't ever stop. We went live and we had some things that we put off until after go live. So we had a list of those things, and we continue even now. We've been live for a year and a half, a little more than that. We have a weekly meeting with IT finance and operations, and we have a list. We have a continuous improvement system where people can submit suggestions, and so we meet weekly and we prioritize and look at the status of those projects. We're looking at things like AP automation. We spend a lot of time, a couple of full-time positions, just entering AP invoices into the system. So we'd love to be able to automate that process. And I'm also excited about Automation Studio as that Insights this year. It looks like a great product. I'd like to look into using that to integrate Epicor with things like Microsoft Project, as well as HCM, the HR portion of our ERP. So if we did it all over again, the one thing I would do is that module review, make sure that we're just buying what we need and there's time later to add things on. I think that's a big one.
Right. Okay.
I think the hardest part about an ERP implementation is just because it's so big and encompasses everything. There's always hurdles. You know, you travel down one path and you're going there, and all of a sudden you hit a wall and realize we can't do that, so you got to backtrack and start again. So that's frustrating and you lose time that way, but as long as you have a good team, and we had an excellent team at Innovative, all working together, then you can get through it. I would recommend Epicor and Success Partners. We definitely couldn't have implemented Epicor without the help of Success. Their consultants are very knowledgeable and experienced, so that is definitely an advantage. And Epicor, there were times when I wondered, where would we be if we had chosen one of our other top 3 ERP products, and our consultant, the third-party consultant we had, said, oh, you'd have problems with them as well. And I've come to realize now that we did choose the right ERP system. The big thing for us is the ability to customize it. I know we all start off in ERP implementation and we say we don't want to customize, we want to minimize the customization, but because of the nature of our business, we really had to do some things. But Epicor has an API which allowed us to build our own front end to it, and that way we could streamline a lot of our processes. And just the ability to create our own reports with the BAQs and dashboards, as well as the BPMs, which allows us to sort of intercept an event in Epicor. So for example, if a new customer is added, it'll send an email to accounting, or somebody wants to know when an item is moved from a certain inventory warehouse, we can let them know. So Epicor provides those things which have really allowed us to kind of make it our own.